Testing. Okay. So, let me make sure the chat is open. Hey everybody, my name is Christopher Keiko. Welcome to a little freestyle stream. I'm testing out my new camera and my new layout, my new setup. I moved stuff around in the little studio that I have. So I have the live chat open on my phone right now. There everyone is. Okay. So I have no idea what we're going to be drawing. This is an 11 by 17 paper. I'm going to be using a Tombow brush pen. Whoops. Let me mute this. To a little freestyle stream. Okay. Hold on. Let me just make sure there's no echo for you guys. All right. So, thanks for joining in. I will be paying attention to the chat. I'm going to put my phone right here. Hopefully it can stay... Nope. Okay, never mind. I'll just have to keep my phone in front of me then. Before we get started, I want to say thank you to everybody who supported the Pokemon project. And I know that I was gone for a minute, but I had a lot of stuff to kind of sort out in my brain regarding my artwork. But I'm back. All right. What do we draw? What am I going to draw? What am I going to draw? Can you guys hear me okay? Is that all right? I can't even I can't even think of anything on the spot of what to draw. You know, I've been so focused on trying to get better technically that I seem to have lost a bit of my creativity, and that's a bad thing. So that's what these freestyle drawings are going to be for, just to kind of get all that stuff back into my brain. So regarding the Let's Collaborate video that I took it down because I got so many responses for it, like way too many responses, and I can't draw that much unpaid work because I would run out of money. So what I decided to do was I'm now doing a podcast here on the channel with those artists, and basically instead of drawing something, we're just going to be talking about a subject. Like I just did a podcast with Yugi Mation, and the podcast is regarding like a certain art topic. So, and the podcast itself is kind of a way for me to advertise that particular artist. So that's what the collabs have turned into, just because the outcry for that was so large that I couldn't deal with all of it. Yeah, so I am still collaborating. It's just it can't be drawings because that takes up way too much time. So I'm gonna have that podcast where I could get different artists on to talk about different topics, and I have like 5 artists lined up for that. I had that one posted up yesterday, and I have one scheduled for tomorrow, and I'm just gonna keep doing that. Would I ever draw all the Overwatch characters? Highly unlikely. Oh, damn it. I feel like I'm very much done with fan art. Other than doing like the shiny version of the Pokemon poster or updating the current League poster, I feel like I'm pretty much done with fan art because I want to start working on my own things. Like I need to work on my creativity, and just doing fan art over and over and over the same thing all the time is not going to help with that. There's a really good chance that I'm gonna completely screw this whole drawing up just because I don't know what I'm doing. But that's the point. That's the point. So I've been doing a lot of sketching lately, and like I said, technical wise, they may not be as good as things that I take the time to sit down and draft and draw. But they're so much more creative and they're so much fun. They're a lot messier, but I feel that they're just so much more visually appealing. So that's really what I'm trying to focus on. And I think the hard thing about doing a sketch, a free sketch, is once you realize that you've completely messed it up because like you did something wrong, the hardest part is to just keep going on it, even though part of it is messed up. Um, Hey, Mr. Leon, if you have a problem with the way I'm doing it, you can leave. Like nobody's making you stay here. No, I didn't think I was gonna get 45 emails from people that want to work with me. I didn't think I was gonna get 45 emails in 2 days from people. So over the course of however long it takes for me to get through that, I'm gonna get through all the artists, but we're gonna do it in a podcast form because if I were to draw with 45 different artists and not get paid for it, I would go broke. So that's just not a feasible option for me. So if you have a problem with that, you're free to leave. Like nobody's making you stay here. Anyway, yeah. Damn it, I lost my train of thought. Um, Great. But yeah, so the reason for the hiatus, like the 2 month long hiatus, was I was burned out. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do with my artwork anymore. Like I finished that Pokemon drawing, and so I finished the Pokemon drawing, and honestly, I'm proud of it because it was a lot of work, but I don't feel like I really grew from it. Like I don't feel like I learned that much from it. Because I had done it before and it was just fan art over. So I was kind of like, well, where do I want to take my artwork? And I had to think about it. And I know taking a break probably isn't the right thing to do. Like I should have really been just drawing and producing random things instead. But that small amount of silence that I had for those 2 months was actually very beneficial to me. I fully recovered from the Pokemon drawing already. Like physically, I feel better. Made time to start going to the gym again. Cut down on smoking. Probably gonna cut that out altogether, and I'm just feeling so much better. Um, yes. Um, oh, Lyra, I'm sure we could figure something out. Yeah, even if you mess up. See, that's the thing with these sketches. Like, the goal for this is we're gonna fill up this whole drawing, no matter how long it takes, no matter how long it takes for me to come up with like just random ideas. And even if you mess something up, if you throw the perspective off, or draw a hand backwards or something, which I've been doing a lot lately for some reason, you just have to keep going and finish it. If you've been following my Instagram, I've been posting some of the sketches that I've been doing, not all of them, but some of them, and those are all just like off the top of the head, and they've been really well received because they are more of an expression of what's going on in my brain than me being like, oh, look at how technically well this drawing is. Something that's technically well isn't always visually appealing. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, I actually, during that time I was off, I was doing a redraw of the Perfect Princess drawing, which by the way has like 5 million views now, which is really cool. I was doing that. I was like at least 15 hours deep into that, and I just abandoned it. I was like, I'm not getting anything out of this drawing. So I stopped. I'll probably finish it eventually just because I don't like leaving projects incomplete, but as of right now, it's not really a priority to me. So I was doing things like that on my break. God damn it, I messed his arm up. Damn it. And I'm sitting really far from the desk just because I needed to get in the camera view. See, this is what I mean. So I messed up something here, so now I have to figure out a creative way to fix it. So because I made the arm too short, I think the best way to fix it would be to, I don't know, change the perspective a little bit. Nope, that's too short. Fuck. No, I didn't forget any of you. Of course not. I just needed to go do my own thing for a little bit. Well, this is coming out to be quite the mess of a drawing. Oh, yeah, you know what? Here, let me bump some of you back to admin. I accidentally cleared everyone. Hold on, give me a second. All right, there you go. We have 3 mods right now, and then I'll slowly add some more again as time goes on. We'll have a giant list of 40 admins again, just like the good old days. So, but anyway, that's enough about me. How has everyone been since we last were all last together? Hey Luke, welcome. It's a weird gun. Yeah. So, okay, so look, all right. So this is what I mean by this freestyle stuff is really really good practice. In any other occasion, if I were by myself, I would have thrown this drawing away already. I would have said, "Fuck all this. I screwed it up. I'm going to start over." You can't do that. Like you have to learn to be able to go past that. And when I say you, I mean me. I have to learn to do that. So give me a minute while I try and work out what this drawing is going to turn into, what this guy is doing, what he's all about. Ugh. So the goal is, since it's going to be difficult, like it's going to be difficult for me to produce a lot of content because I want to upload something every day. It's going to be difficult for me to produce like actual content because I'm going to be doing my convention vlogs again, my Artist Alley vlogs. I'm going to be doing all that stuff again, which is a lot of fun. So I'm glad I'm going to do that. But I think just one freestyle drawing a day will be good. One for content, and then you guys can see how frustrating doing this can get. Dang, everyone's here. Oh my god. That's so crazy. You guys didn't abandon me. And I have to do something about my tripod because my art desk is really wide. So this is actually really close to the edge, and I'm like this far backwards from the table. So I'm drawing at a really weird angle. Oh, Espion, you changed your name. Oh no, it's gonna be weird now. No, it's fine. Um, Damn it. Yeah, and I don't really have a set schedule for this channel anymore. It's just going to be one thing a day. I'm not quite sure what that one thing will be every day. It's just going to be something. Why would you be nervous and or afraid to start that channel? No, I messed that up. I'm gonna stop announcing when I mess things up because I do that a lot when I'm streaming or when I'm drawing live in general. I tend to be like, ah, fuck, I messed that up, or make some kind of. I'm just gonna stop doing that. That way, you guys hopefully just never notice when when I mess up. Oh, thanks, Moof. Hey, Dark Reach. It's all right. Really focused on trying to put these lines together to make something. No, that's fine, Leon. Add some volume to this piece right here. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Over-rounded look. Oh, an idea just popped in my head. I know what we're doing now. I know what I'm doing now. And then I'm going to try and do this without rotating the paper for the sake of the video. If you're trying to change your profile picture on YouTube, you got to give it a while. Like sometimes it takes, like when I change mine, sometimes it takes like a whole day before it changes. So if you're trying to change yours, just be patient with it. It's not gonna. It's a good chance it's not gonna happen like right now. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I am like mentally dreading recoloring the Pokemon shiny because I'm so done with that project. Like I'm so mentally checked out, but I know that I said I would do the shiny, and like I really want to. So it's going to happen, but god damn it. Sorry if I haven't been able to see the chat. I don't want to put it in the screen. I can't tell if that's in shot, but so without spoilers, did anyone watch Logan? No spoilers. I'll ban you from my channel if you if you spoil anything for Logan. But so I watched it opening night, and I think, well, it's definitely the best X-Men movie, but I think I like it better than something like The Dark Knight. Charles, no, I work in everything, traditional and digital. I am. The reason I didn't live stream a lot of traditional stuff before was because my webcam was broken, and I finally mustered enough money to buy a new webcam. So that's what this is all about right now. Well, I guess it really wasn't the money thing because webcams are really cheap. Like this webcam was only like $60, which is like dirt cheap, right? But I was like, I'd rather spend that money on like Copic markers or like something else, or registering for this convention. Yeah, stay on top of that move. Friggin' ban him right away. No remorse. I can't remember. Did we ever have to ban anyone for spoiling Sun and Moon back in November or December? But yeah, just in general, something like Logan, um, because it was actually because to me, The Dark Knight is a Joker movie and not a Batman movie. Batman Begins is a Batman movie. That's the most legit Batman movie that we've had so far. Logan was a Wolverine movie. You know, it was a. That's why I like it better. It was so much more focused. It's just my opinion. Um, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name. The one we banned like 5 times. That was during um, that was during my Pokemon Fusion live stream, which I don't want to do those anymore. But like I said, I don't have a schedule for this channel. If one day I so happen to feel like doing a Pokemon Fusion, you're totally gonna get one if that day ever comes. But yeah, so regarding that podcast that I have, if any of you are artists and you have an idea for a topic that you want to talk about on something like that kind of podcast that I had, which is on my channel, it's probably my most recent, I think it's my most recent upload before this. Um, like if you're an artist and you have a topic you want to talk about, maybe something you're passionate about, um, that podcast will double as it'll be the collaboration. It'll be a way to promote you, and we will talk about a subject that other artists can get value out of. So it's like a triple threat type of video. So if any of you have something like that, like maybe you're making a comic and you're having trouble getting it published, or you have trouble with it in whatever way, and you want to talk about that, just so people have a better understanding of it, then you would just email me what the topic is and say, hey, I want to do the podcast with you, and I'll be like, all right, let's do this. So. Hey, Fluffles. Well, you don't have to catch up on a lot because there is not that much to catch up on. You have like 2 videos to catch up on. So yeah, there was this part of me that was just like, well, it's not good enough yet, so don't bother doing it yet. Do it when you're ready. You can't do that. You can't just wait for things to be ready. You just have to make it. Like, I'm not a very good host. I'm not a good interview. Like, I could live stream and talk, right? But I can't interview people online very well. That's a skill that I have to practice. But I decided to do it anyway. I have an Art Amino account. Not married, but I have a girlfriend. Do you know which convention they were at? Oh, Anime LA. Yeah. That was a really fun convention. I think I did better at that convention than I did at like SAC Anime. That's crazy. Mm, Put a little butt vent. That is a mess. Whoops. Anyway. Dirt. I feel like this would be a little easier if I had a thinner pen. This brush pen goes on real thick. Real fucking thick. So what was everyone doing, or what was everyone doing today before I randomly announced this live stream? Welcome to everyone who just dropped in, everyone who's new. And we've been getting a lot of subscribers lately, so if any of you have just subscribed or you're new to like the past couple of weeks, welcome and thank you for subscribing. Whoops. Hey, Techie. I'm doing well. How's this thing gonna walk? Or is it gonna fly? Whatever this thing is. Hey, Potato, what's up? Well, thank you. My head is really hurting right now because I'm desperately trying to figure out what's going on in this drawing. Um, oh man, so I got to play around on a Nintendo Switch this past weekend. I was at a video game tournament. I was selling artwork there, and somebody had their Switch on them, and I was like, oh, let me check it out. God, that thing is awesome. Now I know there have been a lot of like videos online of them like crashing and having issues, but I'm like, video of like 20 people out of what was it 5 million pre-sales isn't gonna really turn me off of it. The thing that will turn me off of it is how cheap some of the parts seem. Like the dock seems really cheap. Um, that alone that turns me off of it a little bit. But yeah, it's not the videos that people have been uploading don't really scare me because it'll have a warranty on it, so who cares? I've been watching so much stuff on the Switch. It even if it's like not. See, here's the thing. Um, there was a game developer at the tournament I was at this weekend, and we were just talking about the Switch and why innovating something like the Switch is really important because right now games are kind of the state of video games is kind of stagnant right now because everyone is just focused on making a bunch of powerful machines. Like like the Xbox One and the PS4, right? Like all they care about is power, and it's like you'll no matter how strong you make a system, it will never be as strong as a PC. So it's kind of like, what are you doing? So when you innovate something like the Switch, it's really good for moving things forward. So even if it's not perfect, if it's not as powerful, it's still more important in terms of future game development than, just making something that's super powerful. Yeah, regarding the cost of the Switch too, it's like it was at $300, but technically it has three controllers, right? If you buy something like a PlayStation, during its launch, it was like $400 at launch, right? And then it only came with one controller. So when you break it down to like the small prices, the Switch is actually pretty cheap. Um, all right, let's start moving inwards. Still on screen. Okay. So, is everything okay? Is my audio good? Am I dropping any frames? because I'm trying a new setup right now. Is am I out of focus? Is how does everything look for you guys right now? Because this ultimately is kind of just like a test stream to make sure everything's working well with my new setup. I didn't get to play the game, but I got to walk around. Um, in I got to like hold and move the character around, but I didn't get to play the game. All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I changed some of my broadcast settings because now I'm streaming in 1080 now. When I was doing the Pokemon thing, it was I was at 720. Uh, Whoops, I left the live chat. Hold on, let me get back in there so I can see what you guys are saying. All right. Sweet. Yeah, my microphone is actually like 4 feet away from me. It's so far because my computer is like on the other side of the on the other side of the room. So I'm actually talking very loudly. So I had to turn the gain on my microphone like really high, and I was just worried how it was gonna sound from this distance. But if you're saying it's good, then I'm happy. Landon is asking, do you find it hard making a living as an artist? Your mom says you should do programming instead of art because they make more money, but you really like drawing. So that is a good man. That is a good question. Okay, and I'm gonna spend a few minutes answering this question. So if you're asking me stuff while I'm describing this, there's a good chance I'm gonna miss your question. So do I have trouble? Yes. It's always difficult because I work freelance, which means I make every penny, like every single penny has to come from you hustling, has to come from you going out there, either to conventions or reaching out to people asking if they need work done. If you're not willing to put in footwork or cold calls and do stuff like that, there's a good chance you won't make it as a freelance artist. If you can get good enough to work in the industry and work for somebody consistently, I think you'll be fine. There's always going to be a need for artists, so you don't have to worry about that. You just have to be better than the other people who are applying at the time. Regarding making money for yourself, you have the internet, man. Like the internet, I've said this before, I can't even imagine what it was like for artists even just like 15, 20 years ago when they couldn't get on YouTube and do this, and get themselves out there. Because the only reason I'm doing what I'm doing now is because of YouTube. So you have all these resources to get your artwork noticed and for you to make money. So I wouldn't really be scared about doing art. You just have to be prepared to put in hell of a lot of work. Um, yeah. It's just a lot of work and a lot of discipline, but that's for anything though. That is for anything in life. It is not just for art. And as long as you can do that for yourself. And here's the other part of it. Let's say you go into programming and you just kind of like it. You don't love it, you just kind of like it. How long is it going to be down the road in your life? How long is it going to be before you realize that you made a mistake? Like if you like art more than you like programming, but you chose to do programming anyway, either because you felt it was safer or because somebody told you to, one, you're either going to regret doing it later on in life eventually, or two, or both, you're going to be, what's the word? You're going to be resentful towards the person who told you to do programming. And what did you say? It was your mom? You don't want to do that. So that's my take on it. Yeah, what if you're like motherfucking 90, right? And then you're just like, man, had I just decided to start drawing 50 years ago or like 75 years ago, I would be so much happier on my deathbed now. That's what I think about a lot. Because, I'm like super old now. And I'm just like, I can't do that. I gotta do what I need to do. So yeah, take all that into account before you make your decision. Of course, that's just my view on it. You asked for my opinion. That's my personal view on it. I worked in an industry for a few years in my early 20s where I was just like I hated every moment of it, and it paid pretty well. And I'm legitimately I'm more stressed out now, but I'm definitely happier now. I'm stressed out because I'm running my own business, so of course you're going to be stressed out about that. But I'm so much happier doing this than my other one. So, just food for thought. Have you ever had a burnout with your art? Yeah, that's why I've been gone for 2 months. It happens to everyone. Getting burned out happens to everyone. It's how you deal with it. For me, I decided to unplug for a little bit, just start practicing a lot, and then I was able to determine what I ultimately wanted to do with my artwork. And that 2 months off really hurt in terms of both my YouTube growth, but also my revenue. Like I wasn't really making a lot of money because I wasn't taking commissions because I was just like, oh, I need to focus on myself. I'm so dramatic. I'm such a baby. But that's how I dealt with burning out. Some people will tap out when they burn out, like they'll quit. You know, don't be one of those people. But yes, eventually you'll burn out. It's how you handle it. Um, you said, oh, I didn't. Yeah, correct. I did not go to art, or I did not go to college or art school. Well, I didn't go to college for art, and I didn't go to art school. That wasn't a conscious decision. I wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna learn art on my own, so I'm not gonna go to school. It was more that back when I was younger and I was going to school, art wasn't really on my mind. Like that's not what I thought I wanted to do, so I didn't consider it. These days, I still wouldn't do it because of the price. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but it's just so expensive to go to like art schools and shit. Um, but look at if you dig through the internet, if you go to like DeviantArt and then you go through like what I do, look at how many people have taught themselves real like art fundamentals just by studying the things that are available for free online. So, I mean, if you don't want to be in debt, maybe you want to second guess whether or not you want to go to art school. Because I have student loans right now. It is the reason I wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm not lying to you. I'll wake up in the middle of the night all stressed out about my student loans, and that some people fucking commit suicide over student loans, and it doesn't matter if you went to like a university or you went to an art school. A student loan's a fucking student loan, so you got to think about that before you dive into doing that. Oh hey Nautica, I didn't see you there. I got your email, by the way, Nautica. I didn't respond to it because I'm doing this, but I will. Um, okay, I can't give firsthand experience with graphic design and programming because I've never done it, so I can't give you firsthand advice. Actually, I can't give you advice on that at all because I've never even bothered looking that kind of stuff up online, like to learn. So I don't know. Look it up online, and you're gonna have to ask people who are in that field. Sorry, I can't be of help. That's not my field. That's not what I practice. But yeah, just find people that are doing that, who are working in the field, and then just cold email them. Just be like, hey, I'm interested in this, and for the most part, people will try and help you because people like talking about themselves. So if you hit up an artist and ask them for advice and ask them to talk about themselves, oh, they'll do it. Like, you bet your ass they'll do it. Okay, so um, in America, every industry is only out to make money, and they will murder you if they can make an extra $10. So I went to the University of California, Santa Cruz, right? UC Santa Cruz. I did that for a little bit. I didn't finish. I did that for a little bit, and that school is like 40 grand plus a year back in 2006, right? God knows what it's at now. What you get out of that, okay, I'm trailing off. No, you don't. You can get grants um, that you have to apply for, but it rarely, if ever, fully covers your entire education. You can take student loans, which is what I have, and you're basically going to be trapped with those student loans until you die. Um, I'm actually really close to paying mine off because I don't pay the minimum on my student loans. So, okay, my bad. I didn't answer that question very well. Do you get help in America to go to university? You can get grants, which is free money, but you have to go and get them yourself. You have to go dig around for them. They're not just gonna hand like nobody's gonna be like, oh, look at this, look at that, look, here's some money. No, you have to like fight for that. And I think that's it. Also, they have like different states will have like different things that'll help you out, but I mean, unless you get like a full ride scholarship, very rarely will you have it fully paid for. I know there are some countries where they pay you to go to school. Um, our education here, our education system here in the States is very similar to our healthcare system. If you pass out on the street, okay? If you pass out on the street and then somebody calls the ambulance, oh, you bet your ass you're gonna have like a $2,000-3,000 bill just because the ambulance picked you up. That's how our education system is. Take that for what it's worth. They will let you die of a of a treatable they will let you die from a very treatable condition if your insurance chooses to not pay. They're just gonna be like, well, they didn't pay. Um, would you like to set up your funeral? By the way, funeral is gonna cost like $15,000, so your family could have fun with that when you leave. No, it's not. It's not Trump. It's just that's just how it's been here for a long time. I honestly like. I don't. One of the rules is we don't talk about politics here, just because it's so ridiculous. But real talk, I haven't been paying attention at all to anything political because it's such a circus. Here in the states, it's such a circus, so I don't pay attention to that stuff. So anyway, no politics in the comment section because it throws off the fun of the chat. So when I was in high school, I was in something of a medical program. They had us do internships and stupid shit like that during our summers instead of doing something productive. But so somebody that I know went to I think it was Stanford, some shit like that, for like biology or whatever. And so I saw her at the farmers market one time, and I was like, "Are you working here?" She's like, "Yeah, I have like almost $200,000." And this was like years ago. This isn't like recent. She had like $200,000 of student loan debt, and she's working at the farmers market because she's too overqualified for every job because she had a bachelor's in something, and a bachelor's doesn't even make you that qualified anymore. But even that was still too much, and she just like couldn't find a job. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, we don't need college anymore. We have Google. Like, Don't show me the door to that. No, 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 no. Don't show me the door to that universe. I'll get there. Um, so here's an interesting thing that I really discovered about myself during my absence from the YouTubes. Um, I used to draw because I was like, oh man, I just want to be the best, all this stuff. And while that is true, I still want to be the best. Back then, a part of me was like, I don't really care if I make money. Now, I'm so beyond that. I'm like, I want to be the best. I want people to know me. I want to be rich as a motherfucker. I want everything. And it's so pretentious when I talk to other artists, and they're like, well, money doesn't matter. You should really just care about the art. And I'm like, well, you can care about both. You don't. But yeah, long story short, I want to be rich. So take that to the bank. Used to be about the music, man. German polka history. Is that just because there aren't a lot of people with that degree? Because I know that when you go into a field, no matter how obscure it is, if you go into a field that doesn't have a lot of people in it, you're just naturally going to make a lot of money because there's nobody else who can do what you do. There's a good way to approach life. Oh, when you go to conventions full time and you're always doing freelance work and you're always making YouTube videos, but you still barely afford anything. Yeah. I could be a lot of things. Let's try and add some weight to this machine. Let's see. Good way to make something seem bigger or smaller, heavier or lighter, other than drawing them in a bigger scale than everything, is to affect things around it. So if you want to crack the floor here, that'll give the illusion that it's very heavy. I missed a lot of your comments. Well, I don't know how old you are. I was I was working when I was like 15. Under the table. Take that, Uncle Sam. Bastard. And one of the reasons I'm drawing an all pen is I just feel like it just makes you more accountable for what you're doing. Like when you do digital drawing, um, it is having access to something that completely erases what you do. That's a really strong asset, but if you overuse it, you can become reliant on it. And if you're not sure whether or not you've become reliant on it, a good test is for you to just take a pen and just try and draw something traditionally, and then see if you go reaching for that Control Z out of instinct. For a while, I was doing that, and I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people who I've talked to who do that as well. They'll go like, "Oh shoot, I don't have the keyboard next to me." Lyra, ban him. Hello, forgot about these. No, just don't you have the you have permanent ban, right? Or do you only have temporary ban? Moderators. What power do the moderators have? I'm unsure. Is it only temporary or is it permanent block? Whoops. Whoopsie. I can fix it. Busted. Yeah, I'm using what's called a Tombow brush pen. For the longest time, for some reason, I thought they were cheap, and I was using them like they were super disposable. And then I went back to my Amazon and I looked at how much it was, and I was like, "Oh my God, these are expensive." I was like, "What have I been doing?" See, that's a little off, but it's all right. Doesn't gotta be perfect as long as we finish the piece. That's all that matters. Ah, Yoshi. Well, again, I had not accidentally, I had cleared out all the mods, and I decided to kind of start over again because you know how we keep building up like a huge gang of mods. So I emptied it out, and then as the live streams go on, I will slowly build up another collection of mods, and we'll just go from there. Yeah, I don't have a definitive schedule for when I'm going to be doing things. So you might miss some, but I'm sure you'll catch others. When did you figure out that drawing is something you wanted to do for a living and why? Um, it was actually almost by accident when I just decided that I wanted to do this. Because you know I didn't go to art school or anything. I had just left my old job because I hated it, and I decided I need to do something else before I lose my mind, which I was already doing. So I just started drawing, and I just put it on YouTube, and then somebody liked it enough to hire me to do something else, and then I recorded that and put it on YouTube, and then from there, very similar to how I think your business model is working right now, right, Nautica? Like you post stuff up, and because people see what you're doing, you're just getting more work, and then it just grows from there. I decided that if I worked hard enough, I could make it into my full time job. And the appeal of being my own boss, I'm not gonna lie, that was the initial appeal of it, of being my own boss. I was like, oh my god, I have to do this. Like, I can do something with this. Plus, I like making videos. I've been making videos since I was in high school. We didn't have YouTube back then, but um, something about making my own videos, being my own boss, and being the one who determines how much money I make based solely on how hard I work. That's what kind of turned me on to this type of profession. So it must have been around 2013. mid 2013 when I decided that this was it. Shit. I should be up here. There you go. We will fix that. Shit. That was a big error. Let me see if I can fix this. So when you hold a weapon, one of your arms is higher than the other, to my understanding. I would say the hardest thing about doing a freestyle ink drawing is getting it started, because you're just like, well, I don't know what the composition's gonna be, I don't know what the subject matter's gonna be, I don't know what the perspective's gonna be. You start laying down lines, and you're like, oh, okay. Well, once you get it going, like at this point, as long as I don't like screw up, I pretty much got it in the bag. Watch, now I'm gonna fuck it up, but pretty much got it in the bag. In the bag. So hopefully I can have Nautica on the one of my podcasts in the near future. Sealed Paladin. Nice artwork, thank you. What kind of setup are you using right now? Like to record? I'm using a Logitech C920 camera, and I'm using a Blue Yeti mic, and I'm streaming using OBS. All right, Kawaii girl. I appreciate you coming through. I hurt myself today. What kind of things do I make as a freelancer? That's a good question, man. You're full of good questions. When I started, I would do anything. I would do logos. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, are you gonna pay me? I would do my best. And then if I didn't know how to do something, I would go look it up. And that even today, that's still a really good way to go about doing it if you're freelance. But these days, I work mainly just illustration. If it's something that somebody needs drawn, that's where I come in. That's where I will be helpful. I've done realistic portraits for people. Um, Painting realistically isn't hard for me. I've demonstrated that before. We had a 24-hour live stream, and I was like, man, what do I do? So I wanted to show that I can do realistic stuff. So I just did like a quick, like 20 or 30 minute realistic painting, and it came out pretty good, if I do say so myself. Yeah, these days it's just whatever. Has whatever. Well, at this point, people won't come to me unless they've seen my body of work. Um, so I pretty much just do whatever they need, but in my own style, and that's usually how I get the jobs. Yeah, see, Nautica makes a lot of sales online. I don't do a lot of online sales for some reason. My online sales are really small. I do really well at conventions, but what was I saying? Lost track. Do I listen to music when I draw? These days, I like to draw in silence. It, I don't mind music and noise while I draw. I don't like Family Guy's in the background or a movie or whatever. That's cool. But if I have the opportunity to go pure silence, that's what I'm going to do. Um, yeah, because I'm on Store Envy. Maybe I should. So, okay. Do you guys? So, Techie, do you sell fan art, or is it all original art? Okay. Yeah, I might need to expand out because I'm using Store Envy right now, and traffic is really low on that site. So I might need to branch out. I think I do have an Etsy store, like a really old one. I used to have a Society 6 store, but Pokemon shut my ass down. They were like, "What the fuck is this? We didn't make this." Shut. Ah, okay. See, the thing I like about Store Envy is it's like nobody bothers you. It's just, did you make a sale? We'll go pack it up and take care of it, and here's a little bit of money. That's what I like so much about Store Envy. They're very not in your grill. Um, I know Redbubble and Society 6, they're all in your business. Like they need to know what you're selling and shit all the time. At least that's how it was with my experience with them. I don't know about you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna destroy this building because I don't want to draw any more windows because they take too long. So, building is officially destroyed. I could stay on for maybe another hour or so. Oh no. Yeah. Sometimes there were a few instances where my business card was out of date because I was doing so much growth online. But at least it's just one banner. You're not stuck with like 1,000 old business cards. Could be worse. What is this gonna be? Hey, DMC, welcome back. It's been a while. Oh no, he's obsessed with my work. Well, tell him thank you. Whoops. Whoops. Hey, Costa. Welcome back. Yeah, I did 30. Oh, so I just did my 60-second um, event as an artist. So that's like basically anytime I have a table, like a convention where I'm selling stuff. I just did my 60-second one this past weekend and it feels pretty good. Really trying to get to 100. That's what the goal is. So hopefully I live long enough to see 100. Do some kind of celebration or whatever. I have a giant calendar that dates back to like 3 years with like important dates and things that I need to do. So I just have all my conventions written down on it, and I went through and counted the other day, and I was like, oh my god, 62, Jesus, busy, busy. Where'd all that money go? Oh, so I'm actually not in front of the computer right now. I'm only looking at the chat on my phone. What's our viewer count right now? Just curious. The very, very first convention that I ever tabled at was a local convention that was run by my friend. It has now evolved into like a real large convention here in California. But yeah, it had a different name back then. I can't remember what it used to be called, but they changed it because it was a really dumb name. So I'm glad they changed it. Am I gonna do daily streamings? Probably not daily streamings, but I will have daily content for you. So it might be streaming, it might not be streaming. There are no promises on anything because I don't know if I could keep particular promises, so I'm just not gonna make them. But you will get something from my channel every day. Something. Yeah. These live these freestyle live streams will pretty much be my filler episodes when I don't have a that new podcast that I have going on that goes on this channel. If I don't have an episode of that, if I don't have a convention vlog, if I don't have something going on, this is what you're gonna get. This is gonna be my filler episode, which is good. It's good because I got to do these more. This is a necessary exercise if I want to get better at drawing in general. yeah, I feel like being able to freestyle as an illustrator is important. Um, that's one thing. Like I need to get really fast and really precise and just really good and really creative to do things on the spot. Here's my theory, and you guys can quote me on this theory. Uh, there are so many conventions now. It's ridiculous how many there are. And there are so many artists on the internet and at these conventions. They're just everywhere, right? Now, it's kind of like an escalation thing. Anyone could produce a really great piece of art at home, right? Like, um, with ample time, it's like anyone could create anything, right? In my experience in the artist alley, there aren't a lot of artists who can draw really well on the spot. So I feel like just through natural like escalation, at this point people are bored of seeing really good artwork on prints. They're so desensitized to it. So now, if you want to differentiate yourself from them, if you want to stand out, then you have to do something different. And I think in the same way how the tech industry, how everything has moved from YouTube videos and Instagram pictures to Instagram videos and live YouTube and live streaming on YouTube, or live Facebook and live streaming on YouTube. I feel like the natural progression of art at conventions or in general is going to be live drawing. People want to see what you're doing. Why do you think someone like Kim Jong-gi is so popular? People are like, well, he's doing something that nobody else is doing or can do, and that is to draw live. So in my personal opinion, that is the natural progression, and that's where we're going to be going. So I need, and if you guys, if what I'm saying makes sense to you, maybe it's a good time for you to kind of get ahead of it too. I feel like if you can get onto this early and get better than everyone, by the time everyone catches up and you're already better, then they've already lost. Does that make sense? So that's kind of where my mindset is with this kind of drawing right here. Claire is asking, where do I find the inspiration? Really, I don't know. Like, the stuff that I'm drawing here, I don't know. It's just shit that I'm pulling out of my brain. That's why it's freestyling. Um, I legitimately don't have an answer. Everything that you draw from imagination comes from your past, though. Like, you can't draw it unless you've seen it somewhere at some point. Yeah, like I do on the spot commissions for conventions, and that has definitely helped me. And there are a lot of people who can't do that. Like they can't take a drawing overnight and draw, right? So they're already out. They're already behind the game in the current way the conventions are. So if you take it to the next level, which is gonna have to happen eventually, right? Because you can't expect everyone to just keep selling prints for the next fucking 30 years, and it's gonna stay the same. People are gonna stop buying it. They need something new. So, and that's been my concern. I'm just like, well, this is gonna pop eventually. Like people are gonna stop caring about this eventually. So, just gotta stay ahead of it, and that's what I think this is gonna be. So I believe in it so much that I'm investing pretty much all of my practice to this, to being able to draw like this live. Except I need to be about 3,000 times faster than this. But that's what the practice is for. But yeah, I believe in it so much. I'm dedicating all my practice to it. Well, yeah, Nautica. Until I'm in a position where I can, you know, where I could really consider myself to be higher tier, in regards to, like, what is it? The audience. then I really have to stay ahead of everything because um yeah, I'm just not at that super top tier yet where your work and money is secure. So you can't get like lazy on I can't get lazy on this kind of stuff. You have to like think about it and just do your best to invest properly. Investing time. Yeah, so earlier, well, late last year, I replaced all my fan art that I had for sale at conventions, and I had a lot. I had like a giant wall of fan art. I got rid of all of it, and I switched over to original art. It sells just as well because my concepts for my original art are more appealing than my fan art. So I was like, okay, when you see when you go through the artist alley and you see like 1,000 different drawings of Kaneki or Goku, right? It's cool, and they will always sell because there will always be fans of them. But eventually, like I said, I feel like people will get desensitized to it, and that's what I get worried about when I do fan art. Or the obvious thing, the companies will just say they've had enough, and then will ban fan art, which then you'd have to produce more work, and that would put me behind again. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's where all of that actually comes from. I'm just like, well, like the Pokemon poster, it was such a crazy thing to do, but there's only a matter of time before it loses its novelty. Like it's not going to make me money forever, or Nintendo's going to come up and shut me down. And I'm aware of that, and eventually it's just going to happen because it's just how things happen. So I'm like, well, that's a short-term plan. Um, that's a short-term moneymaker for a long-term job, and that doesn't work. We've been on for 2 hours already. I've been talking too much. I'm talking too much. Yeah, and again, in regards to the artist alley, um, I feel like that's where it's gonna go, and the people who are incapable of doing that, of performing artwork, are gonna be phased out. They're gonna be like they will always be there, but I feel like once being able to draw live becomes a thing, um, and people aren't able to perform that, I feel like they're going to be phased out of the artist alley. And then, because artist alleys were never this big, the way they are now, they were never this big if you go back like 20 years. And I feel like once this thing happens, and I genuinely believe that's what's going to happen, it's going to burst. People are going to demand a new level of quality, and the artists who can't perform that will be phased out, and then the conventions will shrink again, and they'll get back to their size they were before like conventions became the cool thing. Nautica, you do like don't you do like all original stuff already? All right, so I'm gonna have to work a little bit faster because I need to wrap this up in the next like half hour, if that's possible. It's a problem with this thick brush pen. I can't. It's hard for me to lighten up my line weight, so it's hard to get a sense of depth to all this. Oh, I know. Just throw some cars down here. There you go. Now you can tell how big this guy is. There's a car down there. Cars are big, right? Um, Thanks. 340 hours. No, that was 6 weeks. We were live streaming for like 6 weeks straight. We didn't take any, like, I took breaks to go to sleep and shit, but I need that project done. That's a very good point. That's why I said I believe that those like however we're doing it now, they will always have a spot in what they will always have a place in the convention life. Um, I just feel like the big money, like the big oh my god, gotta have this thing is gonna be in the same way where caricature art live caricature artists at Disneyland will make better money than if you were selling prints of fucking Mickey Mouse or whatever at Disneyland. I don't know. It's just my theory on it. I truly believe it, but it is ultimately just a theory based on how social media is and based on what I've seen at conventions. Um, in the same way, how people who create splatter art, you guys know what splatter art is. Splatter art is when you take an existing picture, you put it in a Photoshop, and then put some kind of fucking filter over it. They will always have a place at conventions too, just because people buy that stuff. There will always be something that people will want, and they'll always have a spot at conventions. But what I'm talking about is like the evolution of it. That's what I'm talking about. Where shit's gonna go next. Oh my god, splatter art. Swear to God, right? Jeez. If I go to a convention and I see a splatter artist, will straight up say something to them. Like, a lot of people will take pictures and then post it online. I'm like, that doesn't do anyone any good. You go to the staff, you tell them about it, and then you go over there and be like, get the fuck out of here. Nah, don't be rude. Never be rude to anyone, unless they're rude to you. But straight up, just anytime you see that, I mean, I luckily have never seen one in person, splatter art. But I know I'll just go to the people and be like, this ain't cool. You can't do that. Get rid of them. Anyway. It's funny how some people have built, I can't remember that dude's name, but he has built a massive following using splatter art. Like, I'm talking like 30,000 Facebook likes. You know what I mean? Like 100,000 Instagram followers. And those numbers matter because those are the people who see the art and who ultimately decide what in general is good or acceptable art. And if they think something like that is good or acceptable, that's bad. So, um, yeah. $240. Yeah, artist alley prices are getting pretty high, aren't they? Like, friggin' Anime Expo. So I got the double table package for AX for this year. Shit was like $700. Yeah, so I essentially have to live minus $700 until July. So is everything with the stream still good? Like it's not lagging? You guys could still hear me? All that good stuff. That's real thin. Oh yeah, Anime Boston goes real quick. I've never done Anime Boston. Never. I didn't get in this time around because it got full. Emerald City, I didn't even get into WonderCon. I got into Fanime and AX, Silicon Valley Comic Con in San Jose, California. That one's a good one. That one's also really hard to get into. I think they only got me in because I was there last year, and I think they prioritize returning artists. But yeah, um, conventions, man, the life. About the life. Sweet. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so I got about 15 minutes left. Gotta make sure to try and get as much in here as we can before we run out of time. Oh, so this is so cute. So what do you do for your real job? Swear to God. I don't. I'm so glad I don't get asked that anymore. For the most part, people just ask me, they're like, so this is your full time gig, right? That's usually to the extent of what people say to me now, which I'm very, very happy for. Because, um, I don't know, there's something annoying about people thinking that you're not good enough to, like, do art for a living that they ask you. Dad wanted you to be into sports. Spoots. But I mean, no, your business is going pretty well, right? Like, they identify it now. Like, they acknowledge it now, right? There's no way that they can't look at it and be like, "Wow, there's actually money to be made here as a freelancer, especially with the rate you're growing at." Where did you work for your first job? I'm trying to find one at the moment. I was before an artist. I was an auto mechanic, so that's what I did. In terms of my first art job, it was freelance. Everything I've done is freelance. I've never worked in the industry. Other than doing conventions, I've done all freelance work, and that's how I've made all my money for the past what 2013? So close to 4 years now, something like that. Because I've been monetizing my artwork. I've been monetizing my artwork like since I started drawing 4 years ago. Because like I said, the very first thing I drew got me work online through the Yu-Gi-Oh community. Um, yeah. Um, if you're just getting started, it's rough, but cold calling, like you have to have maybe not a full portfolio, but like examples of your work, and then go hit up some people and be like, hey, this is what I could do. Do you need any work done? Just hit up everyone. Just bother everyone. Well, I mean, I think for like we've said before, we can't even imagine what it was like for artists even 15 to 20 years ago. Can you imagine what a parent must be like if they don't fully grasp? I'm not saying your parents don't, but I mean in general, older people may not fully grasp. Look at the power that YouTube gives you, YouTube, Instagram, online stores, PayPal, fucking all our money is fake now. It's all fake money. It's all like credits and shit now. So it's kind of like they didn't grow up with that. So it might just be a concept that they're not so familiar with that it's that much easier to make money. So if they I don't blame parents for being doubtful, honestly. Um, just think about it. I think about it. Think about it. Oh yeah, that Mega Man Zero playmat's still popular. Like it still makes me a little bit of change here on the YouTubes. How am I doing this without a pencil? When I do my sketchbook, when I'm just sketching for fun, this is essentially what I do. So it actually all just came from practice. Jesus Christ, lots of practice. I think I filled up more sketchbooks, or more sketchbook art in the past like 3 months than I have my entire life, just because I need to get this kind of thing down like real quick, real fucking quick. Yeah. So all right. So I think I'm gonna cut it right here because I'm about out of time. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with. I'll stay around for like another 5 to 10 minutes to answer some questions, but I think we're done here. Oh, quote weekend hobby. How dare they? Yeah. Um, I'm not going to throw my exact numbers out there because I don't know if Uncle Sam is listening, but I have gone into the 4-digit numbers often at these conventions these days, like often. And it's, you know, when you go into 4 digits and you have like a convention every weekend for like 2 to 3 months straight, it's like amazing, you know? Am I good at animating? No, no, no. You can actually go onto my channel. I have a small playlist. I think it's 3 or 4 videos of animations that I did years ago. And that was like my first attempt at animation. And it was fun, but I would never do it again. With practice, I think I could get okay at it, but that's still on the channel. All right, last call for questions and or conversation pieces before I leave. I have to go to the gym because I'm doing that again. Finally getting healthy, taking care of myself. And Nautica, I will be hitting you up regarding the collaboration. You know, for a second there, when we were drawing and I was like in this section right here, I really wanted to quit because I was like, fucking, guys, let me just start over real quick because this isn't going right. So look what happens. If you just push through it, you never know what kind of nonsense you can make. So yeah, that's the point of this. Look at that. I just pushed through it and I was able to make something that's fairly well composed. All the focus is here, pointed there. I'm using, it's essentially a 3-point it's I guess in theory a 5-point perspective, but I just in my mind I set it up the same way you set up a 3-point perspective, and then I just like whatever that is, I just bubble it out. Yeah, so that's and every time you complete something like this, your skill will improve and your confidence will go up the next time you do it. So, let's see. No, feel free to email me. Just know that the collabs, they're not going to be... You know when a lot of artists collab, like one person does the line work, one person does the coloring. I can't do that because I don't have the time. But if you have a topic you want to talk about, let me know and we could always discuss it. You know, my last interview was only 17 minutes. My last podcast, which is up on the channel now, by the way, my last podcast was only 17 minutes, and we had a good discussion about something, and I advertised the person I was talking to, so it was a win-win collaboration for everyone. But all right, guys. So thank you all for joining. This video will be available on the channel in real time in a few minutes. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Ding that bell so that you get a notification every time I upload something. I will be uploading something every single day. And all my social media is in the description also. Be sure you check out everyone who's an artist that's in the chat right now. If it allows you, which I think it can, which I think it does, go ahead and post up either your YouTube channel or your online store or anywhere you post up your artwork. Go ahead and put that up. If you have multiple stuff, just put it in one comment. Like, list it off in one comment. Don't leave like 50 comments with one link on it. One comment with a bunch of links on it. So, yeah, and if you have any other questions, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. I'm going to head out. You guys can hang out in the chat if you want and exchange information. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.